Hi everybody, this is I went to watch Dune on the weekend with some family members, and this is my review. And I'm not one of those reviewers who's going to try and persuade you that this movie's good or bad, or to say that, my opinion is the correct one, because that's just obviously nonsense. All I can give you is my opinion on things. My sister, my niece, and my brother-in-law thought it was all right. They didn't rave about it though, but they thought it was okay afterwards, and I was the only one who was really disappointed. As I was disappointed with the first instalment, really. It's just tricky to so personally, I watched the first one and I was like, well, I was disappointed by the lack of battle scenes and action in it, and that's probably a wrong way to look at a Dune movie, but I just thought it was largely people posing in the sand. Not that complex a plot, really, considering Dune is extremely complicated. They didn't really make anything of that. People posing in the sand, in capes and things, looked too forced. It just looked overly stylized and overacted, and it felt like I was watching actors all the time, which I was, of course, but there was no suspension of disbelief for me. The second sequel, I thought, well, the second sequel, maybe it's going to go out with a bang. And, you can have a slow build-up, you can have lots of talking, and you can have lots of intrigue and things like that, which is great. And then you may have a big payoff at the end, which blows you away. And yet that never came. It never came in the first one, and it never came in the second one. That's just my opinion, of course. I found, and it's true, you will agree, no doubt. Of course, you don't have to agree. Have you ever tried to tell somebody that you like a certain type of music, but they're not really into that kind of music? It's fundamentally impossible to get them to change their mind necessarily, or it's extremely hard, an uphill struggle. Nor should you try, really. But I think people's preferences are quite fixed in, quite hardwired, and so that's one thing I've learned over my 53 years, is that you can't really change what people are thinking. It's very hard to change what you're thinking yourself, isn't it? That's what I certainly find anyway. It's very hard to actually change your own thought process. So it's very unlikely you're going to say somebody doesn't like the Bee Gees, and you say all that kind of music, and you go, no, the Bee Gees is great. The Bee Gees is just brilliant music. It's brilliantly played. The lyrics are so meaningful, and it's just beautiful. You want to listen to the Bee Gees. It's really good. Oh, you don't like the Bee Gees, but you really need to give it a go, because it's a really good band. You want to just listen to it. I've bought you a CD of the Bee Gees, just have a listen. That kind of thing will fail. Because, people like different things, don't they? That's just the way it is. And we can all enjoy our own little things. I did not enjoy Dune. Had I been on my own, I probably would have walked out, say, 50, 60 minutes in. As the same for the first movie as well. The acting just felt like people were acting. And you say what you like about the David Lynch version, but it had verve, it had energy, it took a risk. It was, for example, the Baron Harkonnen in the original movie is grotesque in a kind of way that disgusts you, like when you accidentally touch something which is disgusting. It disgusts you in that kind of way, viscerally, when you watch the David Lynch Baron. It just makes you want to puke. I can't remember, he's floating around and he's got valves in him and all these kind of things. Disgusting. And that stayed with me, that did. As well as it was a bit more trippy, the David Lynch version, and I think Dune has to be a little bit trippy, doesn't it? We're talking about the spice melange. We're talking about people getting converted willingly into kind of human god worms in the later books. It has to be a little bit trippy, and David Lynch's was trippy. Then this one wasn't particularly trippy, but it did look beautiful. Like all Villeneuve films, it looked beautiful. Like Blade Runner 2049, it looked beautiful. But again, on Blade Runner 2049, I was more than a little bored, I have to say. That's just my opinion. Don't use this review to either go or not to go to the movie, because what do I know? And all I will say is I wasn't very chuffed with the first movie, and I'm not chuffed with the second. So maybe if you're in that kind of mindset, that might be you might have the same experience as I did, but then again, you might not. Anyway, that's me shutting up. Goodbye, internet. If you watch this video, hello. Hello to my channel. I'm just doing some reviews. I have every Monday off work, and so I work 4 days a week. So every day I might try and just upload a video on one of those days off. Yes, I might do that. So subscribe, and you might see some ramblings from an Englishman in Wales talking cobblers. So wherever you are, have a good day. Remember, my opinion's no better than yours, and have a good one.